Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The next one is access finance charge. What is access finance charge? Access finance charge is used when we penalize the customer, right? When customer delay the payment and we penalize the customer, on that case we use from access finance charge, right? If you remember, initially you asked me if customer pay before the time. I said if customer pay before the time, so we will offer a discount. But you said if customer delay, on that case, then I said there is an option by the name of access finance charge. Then access finance charge is used for delaying the customer. If customer delay the payment, pay late, on that case, so they will be penalized, right? So click on this one. The first thing that the QuickBooks says that please make the setup for financial. Say yes. So this setup can be opened from here as well. Click on the edit, on preference, on assets finance charge, click on the company, right? Those things. The first thing that you have to do is, of course, you have to set the make the setup. First of all, make the annual interest rate. How many interest rate you want to charge? For example, if customer delay the payment, so how many rate of interest should be charged on annual basis? Let us say, for example, it is 20%. It depends on the contract. Depends between you and the customer how much you want to charge, but let us say 20%. Minimum finance charge. How much should be minimum finance charge? See, for example, let us say it should be 200. What is minimum finance charge? See, in the case of interest rate, if customer delay by 1 day, interest will be charged for 1 day only, maybe $2, maybe $3, maybe $5, maybe $6. But I'm not happy in this case. Why? Because usually customer bother me for paying, for example, 1 day late and paying $2 or $3 extra. I am saying that if customer delayed even by 1 day, there should be a minimum finance charge. Even if a customer delayed by 1 day, there should be a minimum finance charge. So that minimum finance charge, for example, in this case, let us say it is 200. Grace period. Grace period means, for example, how many days you give grace period for the customers. It means some extra day for the customers that cannot be penalized. Let us say, for example, you said to the customers to pay at the end of the January. But if you take, for example, 5 days in this case, it means customer can pay up to the 5 of February as well. So this is called grace period, right? Finance charge. Finance charge account. So if customer delay the payment, so the finance charge account should be charged to which account? Why? Because it's a kind of course, a kind of income for us. So we have to receive from the customer. So let us say it is already created. Otherwise, if it is not created, you can create for yourself. Access finance charge on overdue finance charge. It means access finance charge on overdue finance charge means it is like compounding, single compounding, single interest, and we can say compound interest. Simple interest means interest is charged on interest, but compound interest means interest is charged on interest. Sorry, simple interest means interest is charged on principal only, but compound interest means interest is charged on interest plus what? Plus principal. So it is the same here. Access finance charge on overdue finance charge means, for example, let us say bill was for 10,000 and 1,000 is charged for penalty. In this case, for the next period, the penalty will be charged on the original amount plus penalty of the previous period. It means penalty will be charged on the penalty as well as it will be charged on the original amount, right? So if you want to penalize the customer, so we can say give him a rush time. So in that case, click on this one. So should be access finance charge on overdue as well. Then calculate charge from, it should be from due date. Then of course take this one also as mark, then say yes, right? Then in order to test that whether customers are penalized or not, go for the customer section, click on the asset finance charge. When you click on asset finance charge, these are the customers which are penalized. See, Ahmad, Mahmoud, Ali, وغيرها, and so on are all what? All penalized. If you want to see, when the customer is penalized, of course the customer should pay the amount. We should charge them invoice and they have to pay the amount. See, one of the customer by the name of, we can say, by the name of Anna, this one, job one, right? So although there are several job one, but let us say, for example, this one, Abdul Latif. Abdul Latif is charged by 472. If he is penalized by this amount, so we have to create the invoice for him, and he has to pay the amount. In order to create invoice for him, right? So click on the access finance charge. Click on this, right? Now, in order to see that whether it is charged or not, for the time being, I'm going to go with this one with the payment. Then I will explain the payment later on, right? So quickly, I'm going to select that customer, Abdul Latif. See, among the payment of Mr. Abdul Latif, one of the payment is the FF, right? See, one of the payment. How much is the amount? This is the penalty. So it is among their invoice. Anytime Mr. Abdul Latif want to pay the bill, so he has to pay this one, right? So this was the purpose of what? Purpose of access finance charge. If you want to check that once again, whether finance charge is charged or not. At least see, for this customers, minimum of 200 is remaining still. Although they have paid the previous amount, but it's still 200 is there. 200 is the minimum. 200 will remain here until they pay the original bill itself. When they pay the original bill, so this amount also will be removed.